Hey guys, I'm Lindy.
And I'm Thacia.
We're going to talk about some of the crazy things that we've heard people say about the eclipse and what's going to happen. One of the things that I've heard, I don't know about you, is that we're in East Idaho, so we're right in the line of totality for the eclipse. So a lot of people have said that, well, our town can't really handle that many people because we're tiny and there's like
not on average, not like on a daily basis, but for a week or two or three, we can handle it.
There's like 1 million people in our entire state. So
less than 1 million. We haven't broken 1 million yet.
Okay, so if we have 100,000 people all of a sudden come to our area, that's quite a few people to absorb all of a sudden. So a lot of people have said crazy things are going to happen, like we're going to run out of gas, or the food's going to run out, or our internet's going to go away, or the electricity is going to go off. So we're going to kind of talk about some of those things that we've heard. And you can comment in the comments below and tell us some of the things that you've heard in your area or whatever. So the first one, that our gas is going to run out, or that it's going to jump up to like $6 a gallon. Did you hear?
I heard that, yeah. I heard that, or actually I didn't hear the gas prices jumping up. I heard that we were totally going to run out of gas and that we would not have gas for 3 weeks.
Yeah, which is just crazy. I mean, there's trucks that are, they kind of planned. We've been planning for this for how long?
About 3 months, longer than 3 months. So, all of you're like safe at home thinking that, oh yeah, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, you're all thinking, yeah, it might be fun to go and see the eclipse in totality, so in one of these places on the totality line. And so a week or two ago, you would all have been planning it out. We've been planning it out for 3 months.
So they increased shipments to the stores. They increased helicopters from our hospital to be life flighted. They increased police force, like everything. We've been planning for this, and some people have known about it for a couple of years and got their hotels years in advance so they could make sure and be here, because this is one of the ideal places to be apparently for the eclipse, right? So
yes, this is actually the thing that they're actually calling it. They've labeled it something, and we've called it Apocaleclipse.
Yeah, that's in our area. Some people are calling, or they're like, it's the apocalypse. The world's gonna end when the eclipse happens, and so to us it's the Apocaleclipse, because that's just the rumor that's going around.
Because it's how people are behaving, and another one of the rumors that I heard was that they talk like all the grocery stores are gonna run out of food. We're not gonna have any food. So you better make sure you have food in your house, because there's not gonna be any food.
And on Monday, Our one of our local grocery stores did run out of like milk and eggs and bread, because all the locals had heard that. So they were like, we have to get enough food to sustain us for 3 weeks after the eclipse, because we're not going to have any food coming in. But actually the stores have been planning for it too. So they knew that we were going to have an influx of people and all that stuff. So we actually had lines clear to the back of the store, because locals had heard the rumor we would run out of food, and which is just crazy. I mean, come on, people, we can figure it out. Our local authorities are probably smart enough to tell people, hey, and even when I was in a meeting, they were saying that, people should get their prescriptions filled and make sure they had everything in line, because, which I can see that, like, make sure you're not going to die from not having your medications or whatever. But, we're going to have food. We're going to have water. The phone thing has not been accurate, but my internet, I've noticed, is slightly slower than normal because of all the people that have already showed up, even though the eclipse isn't until Monday. So that's something, but it's not going to shut down. I don't think we're going to run out of power.
I don't think it would. So there was actually, I don't know who he is, but I was just listening to a radio station in passing, and this is what he said. He said, are the grocery stores all going to run out of food? That's what I heard. I heard that all the grocery stores are going to run out of food. And he says, no. One grocery store might run out of one kind of food. And if that happens, go to a different store.
Right.
And then, are we going to run out of gas? Is it going to jump up to 6 miles? Is it going to jump up to 6 gallons?
$6
Also
a
no.
gallon. $6 a gallon.
$6 a gallon. What did I say?
You said 6 gallons.
$6.
We're going to jump up to 6 gallons in our gas tanks.
That would be jumping down for most of it. For
Yeah.
mine even, and I have a pretty high fuel efficient car. And then the last one was, hey, are we going to have the eclipse change dates? Because NASA says that it's not going to be on this day. It's not going to be on Monday at all. They changed the date
I forgot about
of the eclipse. And all he says is,
NASA's that powerful, apparently.
and all he says is, no. And he had no explanation. He said, how could you think that NASA can change the date of the eclipse? Single-handedly. Just NASA.
They're that powerful. Maybe they predicted the eclipse on the wrong date, and they've been telling everybody for years the wrong date, and so then they changed it because they're like, wait, we have new data showing that this is actually the right date. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to actually, if you look at the sun and the moon, they've been extremely bright and brilliant, especially the last couple of weeks. It's been crazy. Sometimes when I look at the moon, I'm like, look at how big it is. It looks like it's closer to us. But I think the eclipse is going to happen. I don't think hundreds of thousands and millions of people are going to be wrong about when the eclipse is going to happen.
And all the scientists and everything. Well, and not just that, but NASA never came out and said that, number one. And number two, last I heard, they were disbanded. So I don't even,
you can't even believe what NASA says anyway.
well, the last I heard, they shut NASA down, which I was really disappointed to hear. And so that's why I know about that. And so unless
my son wants to be, my niece wants to be an astronaut. She wants to go to the moon someday. So if NASA's shut down,
I thought you wanted to be a pilot.
Well, she wants to be lots of things, it changes from day to day.
She wants to be a pilot, and she wants to be...
I sort of asked her, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to be an astronaut? And she's 6, so she's like, well, what's an astronaut? And I told her it's somebody that goes to the moon and goes in space. And she's like, yeah, I want to be that. And then the next day it changes to,
what she told me is she wants to be a gymnast and a pilot.
She does love going to gymnastics, but...
And she can do...
I wonder what it's going to be tomorrow.
She has an extremely flexible back.
Yeah, well, that's most children, I think.
Well, I didn't have flexible legs when I was a kid.
So tell us some of the crazy rumors that you've heard about what's going to happen with the eclipse, and share this video with your friends. It's kind of crazy. We have the special glasses, which I looked through them today, and you can't see anything unless you're outside looking at the sun, and then it's like this tiny orangish dot. And that's the only thing that those glasses let through. So we have the glasses.
And I really wish that I had a telescope, because I actually have taken a couple astronomy classes. And I wish that I had a telescope or something with the black thing to make it so that it doesn't damage your telescope or camera or all of that stuff. That's one thing, is to make sure that you protect your eyes, protect your camera, because your camera can actually be fried. But the telescope, I don't know if that would be a problem with it. But I think that it would be so cool to be able to look through a telescope with the little lens and to be able to really...
The filter thing on it?
Yeah, the filter thing on it for your eyes, even if it's not for the telescope, because even if the telescope doesn't need it, your eyes are still going to need it looking through a telescope. And so one thing is that I think that it would be really cool is just to look at the eclipse and to see in that distinctly and that with that much definition the craters of the moon. We have a craters of the moon here in Idaho.
Yeah, we have an actual touristy spot called Craters of the Moon,
which is awesome.
So leave your comments. Tell us what you think about the eclipse. If you're ready for it to be over, I'm ready for it to happen. I'm excited for me and my kids to see it and stuff. So
most of the people, as far as I've heard them, they've all told me that they're pretty much going to hole up in their house until the Apocaleclipse is over, because you're not going to supposedly. I mean, these are more unfathomable problems is that you're not going to be able to get anywhere. You're not going to be able to, traffic's going to be insane. And there are going to be so many people just in our city. 1 million people in our city.
Even if it's like 200,000 in our city, that would be an increase of...
Our city is one of the biggest cities in Idaho. Yeah. By the way, we don't mind that. We like Idaho being small time, but it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So most of the people that I've talked to, planning for the eclipse, just the eclipse, planning for the eclipse.
The apocalypse, people!
Before I heard the term apocalypse, way before that, I was already calling it the eclipse. And then when she said, the eclipse, bloody, the apocalypse, I was thinking, oh yeah. I was just like, what are you talking about? And
I don't know what that means. If you like.
I accidentally called up Siri. Sorry. Okay.
I just didn't know. She said apocalypse, and in my head I was just like, why wouldn't you just call it an apocalypse? And then I said, oh yeah, I've been calling the eclipse that for a while. I've been calling it the apocalypse. And she said, and then I put it together in my head and I was just like, apocalypse. That's where it comes from. Yeah. Eclipse went to apocalypse. It's crazy.
Some people will get it eventually, I guess. Thanks for clearing that up.
So, by the way, I'm the brainy one. She's the brainy one about some things. But just because I'm blonde doesn't mean I'm not brainy. I'm super brainy.
Yeah. So, leave us your comments. Tell us what you think about the eclipse.
Share the video. Tell all your friends.
We love you.
May adventures be in your cards.